Back, everyone, on a Thursday night with Mr. Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. It is Ask the Attorney night here. Rhori Johnston sitting in the chair. Good to be with you. I said we had some phone calls coming in, and we appreciate those calls. 737+. Get the calls in. Don't wait until the last segment, because then we may not be able to get you on the air, and we want to do that. We want to help out. Don is here. Hey, Don, welcome.
Yes. Thank you, Rhori and Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you, Don.
I got a question and I have a comment.
All right.
The question is, if somebody has damaged your property, like a vehicle or something, and the company, they damaged it, and what's your statutes of limitation as far as about trying to file a civil suit against the people that damaged your property?
Okay.
The second part of this thing is that you got lawyers that get on TV saying that they'll represent you, but yet, you know what I'm saying, they won't take your case for one reason or the other.
Yep.
I think people need to realize that they can go downtown and they can take out a civil, some kind of civil warrant on their own if a lawyer does not take your case.
Yes.
That was the situation that I went through, and nobody wanted to take my case when I knew that company had damaged my truck and wasn't gonna pay. Nobody wanted to try to represent me. Do people know that they can go down there and they can file their own petition without a lawyer?
Yes, Don.
And
that is great.
I want to.
Well, here's the deal.
You got these big.
Go ahead, finish up, Don, real
You got
quick.
these big law firms that saying they can represent you and get you money and stuff for damage of your property.
Yeah, but they have to take your case first, and it all depends. So let's listen in. Hold on a second, Don.
Okay, Don, thank you for that question, because a lot of people are in your same situation. In a personal injury, you have 1 year statute of limitations in Tennessee. If it's property damage, there's 3 years. Now, when you're talking about the lawyer saying, I'll take your case, that's called a contingency contract. And most of the time, the lawyers want that in personal injury because there's big money in that, so they can charge normally a third. And so really, you and the lawyer, it's the best case ever come. So when people say we want tort reform and to cut the lawyers, remember, you get 2/3, the lawyer gets, when they cut tort reform, they cut you. So what you get into is you have to pay the court costs. People say, well, that's not fair. They've damaged my property. You still have to pay the court costs. And sometimes the damage is not that much, and the lawyers have to pay their support staff, they have to keep their office running, and so they still have to pay everybody. That's a problem, and I've recognized, and you have a good solution. When it's realistically, the squeaky door gets the oil. So if you don't advance your claim, it'll go away. So if you can't get someone to take your case, you know, that's why we have legal aid. That's why we have the internet, so much you can learn and file it and go in and say, this is not right. It still gets down to, what is a sense of justice? And if I did Rhori's car and damaged it, we all agree I should pay for it. And so it's also a good call to have insurance where you don't have to go through all this problem. But if you didn't, you've got a great option. Go down and file it yourself. Just explain it to the judge and get your judgment.
All right. Is that good, Don?
Well, I just want to know, I just want to let people know that, you know what I'm saying, I mean, even if a lawyer don't take their case,
yeah, you still have options.
They still can go down and file their own petition, you know what I'm saying, in order to go before a judge without a lawyer and present their case, even if a lawyer don't take their case.
Thank you, Don, for calling.
That's what people need to know.
You did great.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. Let's go to Jerry on line 2. Jerry, welcome in.
Yes, sir. I sure do appreciate getting to talk to Kevin. I appreciate Kevin's spirituality, his Christian thing he got.
Thank you.
I also got to ask him a question. I rent a camper spot out to a feller, and I furnish the water and furnish the gas and stuff like that, and furnish the electric. And he's getting to where he don't want to pay his rent. Now, can I cut the gas and the electric and stuff off, or what do I have to do? Or do I have to wait 30 days and go on, or can I just, if I know the electric company will cut mine off if I don't pay my bill on time?
Right.
Yes.
Is this a verbal
I appreciate it.
agreement? or did you get something in writing, or is this just verbal?
He's got it in writing.
Okay.
All right. Well, one of the first
In
things.
writing.
Okay. All right.
He signed the contract.
All right.
Okay. Well, one of the first things you need to identify, and there's lots of people in your circumstance, both renting and they are renting to others. What county are you in? You know, they used to come up with this Tennessee Fair housing, and so there's some specific things. What you'll find is, as a general rule, when there is a meeting of the mind, of course, Rhori did good. He said, what does the written contract say? Does the written contract give you the authority, if you didn't pay, to cut off the electricity, to cut off the water? And so what I would suggest to you is, you know, we know what's right and what's wrong. I would talk to a lawyer privately and see what your circumstances are. But those are certainly options, and having a good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding. And when you go to write your lease and read your lease, let's have those safeguards in the lease. It's undisputed. If you don't pay by the 10th, then the electricity will be cut off and you'll have to put it in your own name.
Oh, what county are you in? Well, we got an audio mess up there, but Jerry, good luck. Follow the advice.
Thank you for calling, Jerry.
We appreciate it. Let's go to John next. Hey, John.
Hey, how are you?
Doing
Good.
well, sir. Go ahead.
I got a question for Mr. Kennedy, and then I'd like to ask and request that maybe you edit it out of the programming from.
Well,
It's a pretty damning charge.
okay.
But,
Well, we're going on a little bit of a delay, but we are live. So do you want to wait until the next break, during the commercial break, and we can leave you on the line on hold and then take it during the break?
John, that's probably a better idea.
Hang on, John. We'll leave you on this line, and let's put you on hold just so that it doesn't go out over air.
You're good, Rhori. Real good, John. Go ahead.
All right.
Okay, are we on break?
We'll come back to you, John.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, we're not. I apologize. I'm allergic to live TV, apparently. All right. Yeah, we don't want to put that out. Guys, we are live. There's a little bit of a delay, so if you get an echo on your TV, Emma may tell you to turn the TV set down a little bit. That is because there's a delay, so we'll figure it all out. But we apologize for that. We don't want anything going out over air if you call in and have something personal or private.
And you know, the lawyers, many times, they say, well, Kevin, I have a question hypothetically, and so we can discuss the theories and the facts. But yes, when some of this material is sensitive, and so you should keep it that way. That's why they always talk about the attorney-client privilege. Well, we've got it, but when we're broadcasting live, you're kind of waiving that privilege.
That's right. So just hang in there. We'll get it. Before we go to the next break, we talked a lot the last couple of times that I talked to you, at least before the pandemic. We talked about tractor-trailer accidents.
Yes.
We see that a lot. Actually, just the last couple of days, we've seen several in the news. There was
Yes.
one just this morning on I-65 with a trailer. Luckily, everyone's okay. My kids go back and forth to school now. One's in Savannah, one is in Knoxville.
Wow.
And they drive, and
Come
they're
on.
young. And one of the first things I tell them is not only to stay alert, but I say, the big rigs, watch out for them. And it's
Absolutely.
because of our talks back in the day,
I
you know,
believe it.
when I used to host regularly, but
Yeah.
it's so true because these trucks can't stop on a dime.
They cannot.
And I thought about it tonight when we had Sky 5 footage of a tractor trailer that went off, overcorrected, rolled. Fortunately, again, the driver's okay and no one was hurt, but that's not always the case.
No, and you did really good. What I try to teach here is you must take some notes here, and we spark our minds. Everybody says, sure, we know big trucks are big tires, big momentum, big rigs. Well, you still need to take the time and tell the children and your grandchildren all the time, you got to be, because if there is a miscalculation, it's devastating. So when you said this, I'm ringing that bell. Every week, we see massive wrecks that ruin people's lives. And then sometimes there's insurance, sometimes there's not. When you get into a big rig accident, the vast majority of the trucking companies have big insurance, but the injuries are so significant, it's not really worth it. So don't Take the risk. And right now, you know what's going on in August and September and October? It's the biggest motorcycle days ever. The sun gets in your eyes, and we hear it quite often. I just didn't see them, Kev. And of course, I represent motorcycle people who have been injured, and we represent people who have been hit by a motorcycle and they're being sued. So we represent both sides. But the word to the wise is this is really defensive driving out of this world. So you take that charge, take the lesson from Rhori and our conversation, and make a difference with your family.
All right, we're going to take a break. And John, as we promised, we're going to get to your call. Apologize for the something about this studio, my allergies. Emily knows. We'll be right back.